Welcome back to SmokiesOnRadio.com. This is Roger Hoover visiting with the Jackson Generals broadcaster Chris Harris as we get set for this 5-game series between the Generals and the Smokies. Chris, first of all, good to see you, and the Jackson Generals, Tennessee Smokies, once again out to good starts into the season.
Seems like every year these two teams, it comes down to these two in the North Division, and this year, looking at the first 5 games of these teams, they're almost mirror images of each other because both teams had one bad game. I know you guys had the bad game in Game 3. We had a bad game on Sunday, lost 9-2. But both teams' pitching staffs are really the catalyst for them through the first 5 games. We were pegged by Baseball America as the #1 team in baseball, talent-wise on paper. So far, that talent, especially the pitching, has really been impressive so far. I'm looking forward to this series because the Smokies have had our number over the last few years. Last year, I know you guys took 7 of 10. So I know some of the guys remember that. We have some veterans back that remember that too.
Yeah, it is a very veteran ball club, and especially when you look through the lineup, there are former Generals all over the place and in the starting rotation.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And of course, our rotation has been hyped up as the big 3. With Danny Holtzen, the #2 pick out of the University of Virginia. He signed for $8.5 million last year. The one pick before Mobile's Trevor Bauer. Of course, Telwan Walker, who pitched yesterday, the 19-year-old sensation they're comparing to Dwight Gooden. And then James Paxton, who got his cup of coffee in AA last year. Adding in that Andrew Caraway, who was a Southern League All-Star last year. He was our opening day starter. Nice to get the veteran the opening day start. And then Brandon Maurer is the 5th starter, who's 21-year-old right-hander that's number 27 in the organization. So then you bring back guys like Rich Poitras to back clean up for the team. Francisco Martinez, who finished the year with us after coming over from the Tigers. So we do have a few of those veterans back.
A very prospect-laden team. Do you expect to keep the prospects on the AA Mariners roster for the long haul this season, or could some of these guys get a shot in Seattle or Tacoma?
That's always the question. I think it depends on how the big league team does. I think Taiwan, Danny Holtzen, and then Paxton are very, very close. And we have a couple of relievers that are really good as well. There's a right-hander who won't throw probably the first 2 days because he pitched 3 innings yesterday, Carter Capps, who you'll really think is pretty impressive. Nick Franklin, the shortstop, #6 prospect or shortstop prospect in all of baseball. He's got off to a great start. Last year he was snake bit, got hit in the back of the head in batting practice by Joe Dunnigan, got a concussion. Then he got mono 2 weeks after that. So hopefully he can have a full season. I think he'll be a guy at 21 years old that want to leave in AA for the entire season. But it depends on how the Mariners do. The Mariners are off to a pretty good start. But when you have talent like this team has, you can't keep them in AA very long.
Good offseason for the Mariners, also a good offseason for you. I understand you got to go out to Arizona for some spring training baseball.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Get to get that cup of coffee, I guess, and a taste of the big league. So, first trip out to spring training, and the Mariners are a great organization. It's bad that they're 3,000 miles away from us, but I got a chance to call my first big league game, or part of a big league game, which was a whole lot of fun. Ichiro hit a home run during that game, and that was the day before they went to Japan. It's been a really weird off-season for the Mariners because they had the spring training slate, started a week before everybody else, went to Japan, played 2 regular season games, came back, played 5 Cactus League games, and then they restarted the regular season this past Friday. So it was a bit of an odd off-season, which made our roster not become available until the day of our first game, so that made it a little bit difficult on me to put together some notes on these guys. But the Mariners are off to a good start, so hopefully we can help them out as the season goes on.
Well, Chris, it's great to see you and the Generals once again. Look forward to not only this series at Smokies Park, but an entire season worth of great games between the Generals and Smokies. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see a lot of you guys 24 times this year, so we'll get enough of the Smokies this year.